Okay, what's your full name, Grandma?
Pearlene Greg Woody.
Okay. Where were you born?
Virginia. And I moved to North Carolina later and grew up in North Carolina, the foothills.
Okay.
My parents was born in the mountains of North Carolina. They lived there and was farmers. My daddy met my mother and they were married. My daddy had to go to war in 1919 and he served in the first war and he got to come home in 1920. And he and mother had 7 children. 4 of them was born in the mountains, and after that they moved to Virginia. And I was born, and 2 of my sisters. My daddy worked at anything he could get. It was bad times back then. I'll always remember my little sister following my mother in the snow with a tin cup to get some more milk. She was about 3 years old. When some of the family got sick, we didn't have a doctor. Mother would nurse us herself with her homemade medicine. We got our water from a well or spring and wash our own clothing on a washboard. There was no entertainment, there was no radio, and there was television. The family would go growing in the evening, play the guitar and sing hymns, and mother would play the banjo. I really loved that time when we was children. Daddy moved his family back to North Carolina. I was 5 years old. We made our home in the foothills of North Carolina and was all grown up and married off. I met my husband and we got married in 1946. We've been married 66 years and have 5 precious boys. The Lord has blessed us so much. I'm good at love.
Okay, what day were you born?
I didn't put that down there. I was born June 18th, 1927.
Okay.
So I'm 75.
You're 80.
85 years old.
85 years old.
Why am I so crazy? That's good to read it.
That's okay, you can just...
I hate to hear myself back on that. Did you get it off?
I'll pop. Okay, Grandma, how did you and Grandpa meet?
We met at the theater one time, and when I was at the movie, and his uncle introduced me to him, and from then on, then he started asking me for dates, and that's where we met.
Where did you meet?
Uptown Illinois at the Center Theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. How long did you guys date before you got married?
We a year and a half. We dated a year and a half, then got married.
How old were you when you met him?
I guess I was 16-year-old.
16?
Yeah.
How old were you when you got married? 17 or 18?
I married him when I was 18. We got married a year and a half later. Yeah.
Okay. How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had 5 sisters and 2 brothers.
Brothers?
Uh-huh.
Where did you go to school? Where did you all go to school at?
Well, I went, usually I went to school before they did, because the youngest ones went to school later, but I think about all of us went to Valmead School.
Your whole life you went to Valmead?
No, at one time I went to that school over there on Connor Springs Road, Cages Mountain School.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
Oh, I don't go past there. So.
Yeah.
Okay, how'd you get to school?
We walked. We walked everywhere we went, just about it. We would sit out and walk to town a lot for miles, and so we didn't have no other way of going but just walking till the cars come along. And after the cars come along, we started riding cars. So it was bad times back then.
When did you see your first car?
Well, I guess I was about 7-year-old, right? And I don't know what that would be.
Okay.
Dating back. And first car I seen had a rumble seat in it. I've rode in them too when I was small. I enjoyed that.
Grandma, did you have running water?
You mean after I was married?
No, before you were married.
No,
You were
we
growing up.
had a spring well,
So you just
draw
walk
it
over,
in a bucket.
you just walk over and get some
Yeah.
water.
We carried in buckets from spring.
Was that how you took like baths and stuff? How'd you take?
Yeah, we took baths in wash tubs. Yeah, big wash tubs.
What about plumbing?
We didn't have no inside toilets. We had to use a
Outhouse.
outhouse.
Okay.
Not till me and Truman got married. We had a bathroom in.
What did your mom and dad do for a living?
My mom and dad. Well, as far as I can tell, was always those or something other. They wouldn't work. They didn't work. My daddy, he worked at odd jobs back, when he worked years ago. But as far as my mother, she never worked on a job.
She was just like a housewife.
Yeah, she was a housewife. She gardened and canned stuff. And I would help her when she's doing all that.
What about electricity? What did you have for electricity?
We had lamps and candles, and that's all we could use back then. There wasn't no electricity back when I was growing up, and
So you didn't have any radios or?
no, we didn't have no radios and no nothing like that. And then we had music. My mama played the banjo, and I learned to play the guitar, and we'd all sing. So that was our of the evening, after supper we would do all that. That's why I like best of all. I grew up in a musical family. I mean, everybody playing some kind of instrument, and I love that. Well, I played the guitar. And me and my sister and brothers, and even my mother, would sing, and then when we got growed up, we got us a band, and we sung at churches all the time. Sang songs, and we really enjoyed it. We was working for the Lord, I know that.
How'd you make your clothes, like all your dresses, and how'd your mama make
Mama
them?
made her clothes. When I was growing up, she would take feed sacks and have pretty flowers on them. I love that, And she would sit and sew them and cut them out. I don't see how in the world she done it, but she really mixed the prettiest clothes out of them feed sacks. She would first wear, and I treasure that. Back in
Did
those.
she teach you how to sew and
Yeah, she
make
teach me
dresses?
how to sew and teach me how to cook. Well, I was cooking until I was 10-year-old.
No wonder you're so good now. Alright. Do you have any experiences from World War II?
Yeah, let me see. Was that before? That was before we was married.
World War II?
World War II came. But Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we wasn't married yet.
Where were you in Pearl Harbor? How did you
Um,
hear about that?
well, I was living in Nowhere, and we would go to the movies, me and him would. We'd walk to the railroad track and go to the movies. And then we would go places, go to, what do you call those things, circus. We'd go to circus a lot. We done things like that. I really enjoyed them. And I got me a job down in the factory, and so I could buy me some clothes.
How'd you hear about Pearl Harbor?
Oh, I heard it on the news. We had a radio then. We used to sit and listen to the Grand Ole Opry. And that's our Saturday evenings would be listening to the Grand Ole Opry. And I really enjoyed that.
What'd you think
So-
when you heard about Pearl Harbor? Like, what came in your mind?
Well, I thought that was awful. And the people are getting killed and everything. And now I got to thinking about those boys having to go over and get killed. And it was sad. It was a sad time.
Did you know anybody that went into World War II?
I had
Any
some
friends?
friends. My cousin went to the Army. And he stayed in there for, I guess, a while, 2-3 years. And come back, but he come back safe though.
That's
But
good.
lots of his friends though got killed in the war.
Okay.
Yeah, they said
What,
the same thing.
what other experiences do you have about World War II?
Oh, my cousin gave me a guy's address and a service with him, and he wanted somebody to write to, and so my cousin gave him my address, and so I wrote to him a while. And so when my cousin come home, he told me that his buddy had died. He didn't get to come home.
How many letters did he write you?
I don't remember now. I think it's 4 or 5 letters.
You wrote back. Did you write back? to him?
Yeah, I wrote back. And so that was awful sad.
Have any other experiences about any friends that got killed or family members?
No, I can recall.
Did any of your brothers go into war?
No,
Your brothers
they was lucky not to go.
That's good. What year did your dad go into the war?
He went over in 1919. The war had already been on, but that's when he went, 1919, and I think it ended, and he come back in 1920.
And
Come
7
home.
years later.
Yeah, yeah.
So 7 years later, you were
Mhm.
born.
Yeah, 7 years later I was born. And he went to working at odd jobs, you know.
Was
I
there anything
think
you could find?
yeah, anything he could find. And
Did he marry your mom after the war?
yeah, he come back. No, he married her before he went.
Before he went?
Yeah, and then he come home to her. And
But that was hard on her.
then the children was born. He had, I think, four of the children after he come back from the war. And then after he went to Virginia, he come back and
Had 3 more.
we had three after her. I was born, and 2 of my sisters was born after her. And so he come back, and I think he worked on the railroads, and he worked digging toilet holes and everything. WPTA was, they had them back then, and all that stuff like that. And then he farmed and worked at a sawmill, working, things he could make a living at, because he had 7 children to feed. And so when I was a young girl, I used to get out and help him saw wood all the time. I couldn't do that today, but I used to get out there and help him saw that wood.
So you're a little girl in your dress. And
yeah. Yeah, I helped him saw wood. But I had a great daddy, I'm telling you. And it was something else. But that's the way we had to live back then.
What was his name?
Joe Gregg.
Joe Gregg?
Yeah, Joe. They call him Jovis. Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
What about your grandpa?
Grandpa, his daddy was Taylor Gregg. He also lived in the mountains, and he was in Civil War. Civil War, yeah, that's right. He was in the Civil War.
Do you know what rank he was?
He was a general.
So your grandpa was a general in the Civil War?
Yeah, it sure was. And
what about your grandpa's dad? Revolutionary Bill.
Oh, yeah.
His nickname.
Yeah, his nickname, yeah. Yeah, I never met him. I hadn't been born yet when...
your grandpa's dad, he served in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, he did. Back in them days.
Was he a general too?
Yeah.
You're just from a family of generals.
Yeah, I know. I sure have. And I never met him. But my daddy always tell me about him, you know.
Your dad always told stories about him?
I was growing, yeah, he used to tell stories about him.
He served with George Washington?
Think he did. I don't remember ever seeing him. I mean, you know, just what my daddy told me.
Do you ever see any pictures of Revolutionary Bill?
No, not of him, but I got one of my grandpa.
Your grandpa?
Yeah, my grandpa. I got a picture of him.
Do you have any stories about your grandpa that your dad told you?
No, as I know of.
Never talked about
I can't
that?
think. Yeah. You see, Daddy and Mama got married in old age. You know, really had got up there, you know, a whole lot. And time as kids come along in, we was didn't know our grandparents.
How old was your mom and dad like when they had you and your?
I think Mama was 23 or 24 when she had me.
Really?
That's old having.
So how old was she when she had her first kid?
I don't know.
She has to be like 18 or something like that.
No, she wouldn't have been that.
She'd be younger
That's
than that.
when she got married, she would have had to have her when she's 24. Yeah. The oldest girl, my sister, she'd had to have her at 24, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who was the oldest out of all 7 kids? Was your
Cordelia.
Cordelia?
Yeah, Cordelia. Then Artilly.
Artilly?
Yeah. Yeah, I got your pictures in there on the wall. Did you not see them?
No, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Artilly.
Yeah.
You remember all their names? Who's the oldest? Oldest was
Cordelia was the oldest.
Cordelia, then Artilly.
Artilly. And Taylor.
He was named after your grandpa?
He's a boy, yeah, Taylor Gregg.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then there was, I guess I'll be next in line.
Who's the youngest?
Oh, Little May.
Little May.
Yeah, the girl, yeah, Little May. And then Alfred was the youngest boy.
Alfred?
Mm-hmm. Alfred Gregg.
What'd you guys do for fun?
Yeah.
Like games? What'd you all you kids, all 7?
Well, we got out and play hopscotch and seesaw and all that stuff like that.
How did you get the seesaw?
You put it on a block or a rock and big long board, and each of you get on each end of it and go up and down. That was fun. And that's all we had to play with. And skip a rope. Skip the ropes. Play other games, you know.
Imagination.
Yeah. Ain't no bears out tonight, what you call it. And ring around the roses and all that.
That was so
But
fun.
we had fun.
So overall,
We didn't know that there was anything else but that, to do.
so you guys lived did you guys live near town? Or did you guys live back?
Kind of back in the hills of North
So you guys
Carolina.
didn't get all the games to play and stuff like that?
No.
Go with that?
No, we
New
didn't.
stuff?
Yeah. If we got to go to town, we'd either walk or, get somebody to take us to something in a car. We didn't own a car.
What about a wagon? You guys didn't just ride like a mule to the
No.
wagon town or anything like that?
We didn't, I don't know. I've rode in a wagon before. But,
How long was it from your house to town?
well, it's according on where you lived at. I mean, we lived in Happy Valley up there. About how far would you think it?
Wait, when did you go to school when you lived in Happy Valley?
Well, they rode a bus, and my sisters rode a bus.
You
I
rode a
didn't
bus?
go then, yeah.
I was going to say, I hope you didn't walk. That's a long way.
No. And we would walk to from Happy Valley, Plumpton, on an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a long walk.
And I'd help my cousin hoe corn in the field, and it would be really hot. And they was just paying us $1 a day, and we'd work all day for $1.
All day?
Yeah, all day for $1.
Well, I bet you got tired at the end of the day.
Oh, we was give out, and then I took the money, and my daddy went to walk with me all the way down to Lenore, and I went in Smithy's over there and found they used to have dresses in there. I mean,
You bought you a dress?
Yeah, I bought me a dress, and guess what? How much I get for it?
How much?
50 cents.
Whoa.
And I bought me a pair of shoes for 50 cents.
So you
That's
used
what
up
I
your whole
done.
dollar for a pair of
Yeah,
dresses?
yeah. I worked all day for $1 and took and bought me some clothes.
You see a whole outfit for $1. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I know, you can't. Well, you can't do that today. Anyway, while I was growing up, I loved clothes, and I was getting tired of my hand-me-downs from my sisters. And when I got a job, then when I growed up to be old enough, old enough to get a job, I take my paydays and buy clothes with them. Because I never had it when I was little, so I was trying to get enough for clothes.
How'd you get your dolls and toys and things?
Oh, well, we never got no toys when we was
What a
growing
doll,
up.
you know what?
No, we didn't.
You never had a doll when you were growing up?
I
mean, you
have
had
now.
one.
Oh, I got them now, but still, we didn't get no dolls, and Daddy would bring us home sometimes some peppermint candy or something for Christmas, and so we never got stuff back then.
Did you like your Christmases?
Back then, I liked them, but I never did get nothing. He might get us an orange if he had the money, but back then,
It was more about Jesus' birth than it is now.
yeah, that was right. And things was rough back there then. I'm telling you. I wouldn't want to see them times come again, but I'm scared we're going to be it's already at the door. Things are being bad again. All these people out of work.
Yeah. What about your first job? What did you do for your first job? Like your first ever?
Well, I really worked. I done something over about gluing stuff together. Chair rails or something other like that in the shop, and I worked 8 hours a day.
How old were you?
16.
You were 16 when you started working?
Yeah, I started working at 16.
So your first paying job, you were gluing stuff together and you were 16 when you got your first paying job?
Yeah. And that first payday I got, I went and bought me some clothes.
Some more clothes.
I love clothes, yeah. Sure do. I don't know why I got such a loving of clothes for it, because some people don't like clothes, huh?
Right. I guess because you had to make them when you were younger, and you just thought, buy them out of the store.
Yeah,
So.
buy them at the store like clothes.
It was a lot easier.
Yeah, it was.
It just costs more.
I know one time we come up rough like that, but we was happy.
Yeah, you're happy kids?
Yeah, we was happy. We
Were all
was
the
a loving family.
Who was your best friend when you were growing up? Like, did you have any good friends? And go to the...
You mean best friend at
Yeah.
school or best friend in the neighborhood? Well, I had some best friends, Reba Deal, and some more girls. I can't think of their names.
You just
right
go
now.
over. How'd you get to spend time with them? You just walk over
Yeah, we do that.
at school.
Play together and went to school together. Some of us did, so that was our best friends.
How big,
Edith Woodruff was one of my good friends.
how big was your school?
It was a small school then, but they built more onto it now.
How many rooms did it have?
I don't remember really
That many?
how many rooms they had on in it. But
What was it called? Your first school, like elementary.
let me see. If I could think straight, my memory's gone. It was. I don't remember the name of that. It was on Cages Mountain Road.
It was
Whitmore School.
Whitnell?
Yeah,
That
Whitnell
was your
out
first
there.
school ever?
Yeah,
It was still
up
called
on the
Whitnell?
hill.
It's still there.
Is it? It's
Yeah.
still there. And I used to go when I
Mine moved it though.
started when I was 5 years old.
You
And
started
we
school when you
would
were 5?
walk. We walked to school. We lived.
All the way to Whitnell? Or all the way to
No,
there?
we lived over on the hill, way over on the hill. But we had a long ways to walk. But we walked to school.
Every day?
Me and my sisters, yeah.
But you had holes in your shoes when you were done?
Yeah. And summertime we went barefooted.
That's good. I probably would too.
Yeah, well, in the wintertime then, Daddy tried to keep us a pair of shoes. And so...
Was it cold? You walked to school?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Walking. Don't sound like it's cold as it is now or something or other, but we did. We walked to school. In the wintertime, and snow on the ground. See, they didn't run buses then.
When you first went to school, they didn't
Yeah,
have
when I
buses?
first went to school, yeah.
Didn't have any
Yeah.
buses or anything.
While some of the others that older, younger sisters and brothers, they got to ride the bus.
The younger ones?
Hmm. Yeah, I went to Sawmill School.
After Whitnell?
Yeah,
What grade
Whitnell
were you
was.
in? When you moved?
I was in first at Whitnell.
And then in second grade you moved to Sawmills?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How long did you go to Sawmill school?
I don't remember. I guess a couple of years. Because we was moving around the jobs all the time. My daddy was. You know, he'd have to move every time he'd get a job. Maybe if it'd be in another town, another place, or something like that. He'd have to move. And
Just to make new friends?
yeah, make new friends. That's true. I hate to leave my old friends, but we'd have to do
All
that.
7 of you too.
Mm?
All 7 of you.
Mm. Really?
Did you have fun with your brothers and sisters?
Oh,
Ever
yeah.
get on your
we
nerves?
was a loving family, yeah. We didn't try to get bad at one another. If we did, we'd hug one another if we got mad at one another.
What about getting whoopings? Did you ever get a whooping?
Oh, my mama, she whipped me. My daddy, he never did scold. He just scolded me. But he never did whip me, and I remember. No, my daddy always whipped me. He's a loving daddy.
So what all did you do in Virginia?
Well, when I lived out there, I remember going to my aunts and uncles one day, and they had serving ice cream on the porch, good homemade ice cream. And that was a wonderful treat. And then I remember seeing my grandma. I never knew her. That was my mama's mama. I never knew her, but I sang her one time, and we went out there to see her. And she was was sitting there smoking a cob pipe. She was. And I think she, had Indian in her or something other, because she was smoking a cob pipe. And I thought that was so strange. And
Well, I don't see that often.
then I went back years later, and she had died, and she lived in Virginia. That's when we still lived in North Carolina. I went back out there, and I seen her grave, and that was so sad. I never knew her.
Did any of your brothers or sisters?
What
about any of your brothers or sisters, like your older ones?
I mean, living out there?
Yeah.
No, they didn't live out there. They lived here, but I say the family went back to see her, and so I just found her grave, and I thought it was sad to see Grandma's grave and not, really know her. They lived on a big old farm where they had big old fields of tobacco, and I think the people worked in the fields. I think they used slaves in them fields.
Really?
Yeah, because that place out there was what's called a plantation.
It was still there.
Yeah, and it was still there. And my uncle run it. He married my aunt, Reddy. That was my mama's sister. And they run that.
How long did you think they had slaves there?
Gosh, I don't know. Probably longer than lasted yet before I was born.
Before you were born?
Yeah. And I wasn't, but I guess I was about 10-year-old when I went back. And we used to live out there beside of them. And one night, getting close, I was about 5-year-old out there in Virginia, and Mama and them was in the house busy. And I went in there, and I was packing me some lunch. I thought I was going to school. Mama said, "You're not going nowhere." And so I went ahead and packed my lunch, and packing my lunch, and I was going to go to school. I thought I was, big enough to go to school. And it was late in the evening, and I took off with myself in the dark, and I was going up a trail, up towards the highway. And the school was a school that the other children walked, every day to school. Anyway, I got away up there, and they overtook me. They found me missing, overtook me, and there I was going in the dark to school. And they got a hold of me and brought me back. I remember that. And boy, she gave me a whipping. I never did.
You wanted to go to school?
Yeah, I go to school. And she really did. And girls took me to school with them one day, and the other girls and sisters. Anyway, they took me to that school up there, and they met playhouses out in the woods. That's the way they played. And they made playhouses out there, and I thought that was neat, them playing outside. That's the only thing they had to play with. They didn't have no ball games and all that stuff, at school. Then, as their way of schooling back then. And anyway, I thought that was neat. I went to school with them. I stayed all day one day with them. So I got my schooling in anyway, didn't I? I got to go to school. I did try to slip off. It's so scary that night and catching up. And I wasn't afraid of anything. Wasn't afraid
Just walk up in the middle of the dark.
Yeah, in the dark. I was going.
Trying to go to school.
I was on my way. I know the way up there because I've been up there before. But I was going to school by myself.
What school were you going to in Virginia?
I don't remember.
Well, how old were you when you went off to?
I was too small to go to school when I lived out there until I come back to North Carolina.
So when you walked out into the dark, you were at least
about 5-year-old.
5 years old and walked out by yourself.
Yeah.
And you remember it.
I could remember stuff. and stuff like that.
But your mom was worried, a 5-year-old walking out in the dark by herself.
I got missing. They got the hunt for me. It scared her, and so I loved that Virginia out there. It was a beautiful place. Lambs and was this as level as it could be.
Didn't have as much hills or nothing.
Excuse me. We lived so far of Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond?
Yeah, it was our, back when we lived out there, it was, what you call it, like Raleigh is this, what do you call it?
It was like the city, oh gosh.
Raleigh or something other.
The capital.
Capital, yeah, Richmond was the capital. And I sometimes think about the Waltons. I live in, yeah, the Waltons, they live pretty close to Richmond, didn't they?
Yeah.
When they did movies up there. And so,
made near a movie.
yeah, Richmond, Virginia. That's where I sent back to get my birth certificate. When I sent it back, yeah, when I retired.
Where you were born in Virginia? Like, you were born in Richmond, weren't you?
No, I was born outside of Richmond, somewhere in a little town.
You were born in a hospital or a...
Apple something. Apple something. Started with Apple. I don't know. It was a little town outside of Richmond I was born in. And so I got it somewhere here in the book.
Were you born in a hospital or just
No, I was born at home.
You were born at home?
Yeah. My mama used to tend to us all the time. I mean, nurse us back to when we got sick. And we'd have the whooping cough, we'd have the measles. I went through all of that.
Did you ever get sick with a really bad sickness?
No. My sister had pneumonia off the bed and we thought she was dying. And one of the older sisters, she did. And Mama had to sit up day and night with her because she was so sick, and she used her own medicine to bring her back to health. She made her own medicine? Yeah, she made her own medicine. What? Back then.
How'd she get it? Just
go out in the woods? You had to use the homemade stuff, huh?
Did she go out and get a plant or something?
Yeah, she uses plants and she makes salves and stuff and use all kinds of stuff on us young'uns when we got sick. And she give us castor oil.
Castor oil?
Yeah, and what's called salts. And I hate to see her come with that stuff.
It was nasty.
Yeah, there was. That's the way we took our laxatives back in.
But it helped?
Help? Yeah. Sure did. But they ain't like the laxatives today. They was harsh on their stomachs. And
well,
that's what it did.
There was a flavor.
Castor oil was awful. But I love the Paregoric she used to give us. Paregoric. Paregoric and the Castori was real good. I loved the taste of that.
What'd she use that for?
Well, she used Paregoric for a tummy ache. And then...
what is Paregoric?
It's some kind of stuff that you can take for pain.
It's like a plant.
Yeah. No, it's not a plant. It's something that you buy in a drugstore. They had that back in. But what about living back then when you didn't have no radio, no TV, and no stuff like that? We didn't have nothing to entertain you. Only just the folk music, we played.
Music, so good entertainment.
Folks music. And so we grew up like that. And sometimes we would go down to our uncles to blow us, and they'd have banjos and guitars, and play those,
banjos?
Yeah, called waltzers, called songs or something now, and you dance by it. What do you call that? They call it out to you, and you dance jitterbug and do all that stuff. And us youngs used to sit up on the steps and watch them, those people dancing. We have fun doing that.
Do you have any like
We
festivals?
was too young to join in it, but we'd sit up there and watch on the stairs, watching dancing down there and playing that music. I enjoyed it.
Do you have any like festivals that you go to listen to music and carnivals?
No, we didn't have that back
Anything
then.
like that?
No,
Okay.
radios didn't come in till I don't remember now, but it didn't come in till I was a pretty big girl. I mean, about 10, 11, 12 year old.
What did you think when you saw your first radio?
Funny, yeah, I know.
That's
Them
so funny.
talking in the house to you and getting all that good music. We used to sit around the radio and listen to the radio, Grand Ole Opry, and all this. Boy, Roy Acuff and all them. That's singing. We used to do that all the time when we was young. We'd always loved Easter to come. I'd always want me a white pair of shoes. I love white shoes back at Easter time, and the grass was green. And I used to beg Daddy to go get me a pair of shoes, and he said next time his check come in, he was going to go and get us a pair of shoes. And sure enough, that year he did go and get us a pair of shoes. And I was so happy. Yeah, walking in them shoes. I'd hardly pull them off of a night. When I would go to bed, I
Sleep
didn't want
with
to.
them.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Young alike, yeah. We loved them shoes. And we do all kinds of things when we was little. And,
What was your favorite thing to do when you were growing up?
I guess, I don't know, favorite thing was getting out and playing in a yard or doing something like that. Playing in woods. We used to play in woods and get all kinds of plants. I used to go into the woods with my mother. She'd get all kinds of plants to make medicine with.
She could get her plants for her, and then she'd make the medicine.
She would go with us, and
Did you ever help her? make
Yeah, I
medicine?
was helping her.
Do you know how to do it?
Yeah, no.
You don't
I
know?
know. I forgot to before she passed away to write all them names of them. That stuff she had down, and so I missed out on that because she would go out and get them plants and make the herbs.
How'd she learn?
She learned from her mother.
Really?
Yeah, well, handed down from her, them plants and things was. And so I missed out on asking her about all that stuff. And she would go and scrape bark off of trees and make bitters out of it, and then she put other plants in it. But I never did get the plants, write them down, the names of them, so I could. And then she'd make sassafras tea. That was good. Spicewood tea. She knows all about those things. And so I missed out on getting all those things. I wished I had. Well, I hated most in the summertime was hoeing corn. I would get in there and be barefooted. Hoeing, Daddy, every one of us had to get a hoe and go to the garden. And I was about 6 or 7 years old, and I was hoeing that corn. And them big old green-looking bugs was on. What do you call them? Pack saddles?
Something like
I was
that.
on that corn. Anyways, corn worms, and they would sting me, and I would just cry and go right on. And I own that corn. I remember that so good, and I hated that and the worms on that corn. And I go on the hoeing that corn, and the ground would be so hot it burned my feet.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had some tough feet time I got out of them fields.
But you had blisters and stuff.
People today don't live like we used to do.
You got all your food from growing
gardens.
corn.
Yeah, Mama would put up all my the food in the gardens, and I'd hate a cow. I couldn't stand the animals. I mean, I wouldn't try to milk one. They was on a milk cow. But I would go help with feeding it and everything, but I wouldn't get around them because I was scared to get me. And so that's the way we was brought up, getting those foods and stuff she got out of the garden. And she raised big gardens and big mater big mater vines. I would go take me some salt and get me a mater and wipe it off and eat it and put salt on it. that was fun when we back then. And we had an apple tree one time at the place we lived, and we moved around a whole lot. And he was sharecropping. Back then, you sharecropping, you know, you'd raise half for you and maybe half for the one on the land. And we was, sharecropping. And we had the apple tree, and I started out, I'd eat them apples before they got ripe. Those little teeny sweet apples.
You'd eat them for
eat them when it's green.
You wouldn't have any left for the neighbors or nothing like that.
And I would take the tummy ache. Ooh. And Mom would have to get medicine given.
Nasty.
She tried to keep me out of the apple tree, but I love those little apples.
Sour.
Yeah, and we'd eat strawberries and...
Girl strawberries?
Yeah.
Wild strawberries?
Yeah, wild strawberries and stuff like that. It was good to be a kid back then. I mean, doing things. And then sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. So that's why.
Was it hard growing crops and stuff like that?
Yeah, when it was hot, it was bad, but some like we had pretty good crops. But all that canning we had to do. We had to can so many. Sometimes we'd can hundreds of jars of food. It'd be enough to last us all winter. And then we would raise our potatoes and put it in a cellar or something other like that. We'd keep all those potatoes. And then we'd have our milk and butter. And we used to take our butter and milk to the spring and had a box over it. We'd put that butter and milk down in there and keep it cold. That was good eating. Mama baked big old cakes of cornbread.
That's why your cornbread's so good.
And she would put the butter on them, on the cornbread, and that was delicious. And beans, she'd string up beans, big old ropes of beans and dry them. We'd have dry beans. Then she would dry some fruit and canned fruit. We eat good. Lots of times when we raised a garden, we eat. That was times that we was on sharecropping and stuff, was raising all that food. But I love that milk and butter and cornbread.
Must have tasted good.
Oh yeah, it did. It did. Yeah,
Healthy.
We stayed pretty healthy. Mama saying to that. She tried to give us foods that we could eat, you know, when the greasy foods, and we didn't have hamburgers and fries and stuff like that today.
Like vegetable soup and...
I think it's after I got married before I even eat a hamburger, because back then I didn't have it. We could eat good, big old slabs of ham though, liver mush and stuff like that.
Did you have any animals like pigs and
yeah, we
horses?
Kept them and killed them. That was after, I think the war was over with, and I got back. They got good, so we could earn something to live on.
Then you, that was in Virginia when you guys had the farm and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Then you moved to North
Carolina? No, we come back to North Carolina and was doing all that. We'd go out and pick berries and huckleberries and can them, make pies and That was good.
Well, they were good pies.
Yeah, it was good pies back then. So we lived pretty good. And, the first of the Depression, we seen it pretty rough.
The Depression?
Yeah, Depression. I lived right through that Depression.
All the way through it?
Yeah.
All the way through it?
Well, yeah, I was born in the Depression. But after I got grown big enough to get a job, I got better. But we did eat good though when we was on the farms.
What was the worst thing that you can remember about the Depression?
Let me see. I don't know. I have to think. There's a lot of bad times. I guess about the worst thing was seeing the family sick and couldn't have a doctor or something. You know, come look at them. Because there wasn't that many doctors around. There's doctors who made house calls if you got somebody off, I think. House calls. But all of it was bad and some was good.
But when it was over, I bet you guys were happy. But when the Depression was over, you guys were happy.
It was. After World War III, I believe it was. Pearl Harbor. Yeah. I remember Pearl Harbor.
Real sad.
Yeah, I know. All those people getting killed and boys having to go off to the army, and that was bad. But I wouldn't live like that again, Tom. Do that.
So after you married Grandpa and you moved here and everything,
Yeah, moved up here. Yeah, I started, I've been going to Liberty Baptist for about over 40 years. And so
you were in the band for over 40?
Yeah, about 9 years, 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, we started as a band, and me and Little May and my sister and brother. And then she had some his boy and my sister's girl. We all started singing.
Greg and...
Yeah. And so we took off and we'd go everywhere. We'd go to the mountains. We was all over the mountains. Did
you ever get interviewed about the band and all that?
We had it put in the paper, interviewed. And
any clips
in the paper. And we would go to churches. We really enjoyed that because we learned to sing real good together. Because, our voices would blend together. And that sounded good. And so we was all over the mountains. It'd be snowing or something. We'd take off if we had a booking to go to, and we got bookings all the time.
What kind of people did you play for? Did you play for
church groups? Church groups, and we play for sometimes where they'd have a homecoming. We'd play for them. A lot of them.
So you're pretty famous.
And then we would play for. Then we would go to the funeral home and play. We'd sing at funerals. I don't know how many. We sang at a lot of funerals, and then we sang at baptizing and all the churches. And I think we went all over the mountains and then all across the country. Back down here, and went over on down towards Hickory and places like that.
You have fun?
Huh?
You have fun doing all that?
Yeah, we did. We really enjoyed it. Sometimes we would leave and wouldn't get back till after 1 o'clock in the morning. Or coming back, we'd have to go so far, we'd have to come back. And we'd be late getting in. Lots of times, I guess, because we gained so much weight, we'd stop and get us something to eat at these restaurants and things like that. And eating overnight, it really They
was a
put
tough
on
schedule.
weight. Yeah, we enjoyed it though, but we would. We never did charge them nothing for going and sing, and so we enjoyed singing for the Lord. We were singing for the Lord more than we was for the people. So we really enjoyed it. I was remembering one time when I was real small, we walked from Cage's Mountain plumb to Hickory.
Walk the whole way?
Yeah, we did.
How long is that?
I don't know. It took us all day to go down there and back. And we was going down there to see our aunt. We had a aunt that lived down in Hickory. And we was starved by the time we got down there.
Gosh, me too.
We got down there and they was just having dinner or supper or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I was so hungry that I was eating a whole lot and I was ashamed to eat a whole lot. They thought I starved to death. And I was ashamed to eat all I was doing. And I sat down there and I ate and ate and ate. I never did get full because that walking really wore me out, made me really hungry. And so that was one time that I got hungry, eating. But we stayed a while and then come back. And some like they had some of the roads that we walked on was paved, and that cement was really hot.
Especially in summer.
And I was barefooted, and my feet was blistered the time I got out.
That hurt. Golly.
When me and Truman first got married, we went. He went to get the the marriage license, and he was knocking on some doors. I don't know where he's supposed to go get them at. Anyway, he was knocking on the doors, and somebody must have called the police because the police come there. And he was telling me he's trying to get some license or something or other, a marriage license, and they about to put him in jail because he was knocking on the people. And what was so funny then, when one of the babies was born, he was trying to find a doctor. My doctor was out
Like
of
you were
town.
getting ready to have him?
Yeah, I had the baby. I was going to have it at home.
Which one?
Robert.
You were going to have Robert?
Yeah, one of my babies was going to have it at home. I thought maybe I could get along to go in the hospital. And so he had to go out and, because my doctor was out of town, he was going to go see if he could find a doctor over in town. And he was knocking on doors, and police someone called police on him. Yeah, again, and there he was.
He just has bad luck with the police.
There he was.
That was a bad timing, too.
Yeah, he told the police that his wife was having a baby and he had to have a doctor. And they was about to put him in jail because I reckon he thought he was breaking in.
Oh, gosh. Did you get you a doctor in time? Did you get you a doctor in time?
Yeah, he come then. He had to bring him in the truck. Yeah, in the truck. And the law wouldn't helped him get a doctor. Yeah, after found out, I was having a baby. So he's having bad luck trying to get a license. Then
having a baby.
Yeah, and trying to get a doctor for me then after I was having that baby and he was about to get put in jail. And I thought that was so funny. And when I was having a baby, Jeanette, my sister-in-law, she was in the house in there with us. She was in the living room. And they was needing some pins and stuff, bandages or something that her doctor was. And she knew where this at. And she had went to sleep. That stuff they was giving me, put her to sleep. And they couldn't hardly wake her up. To get, get the pins and things for him and stuff for the babies and extra for him. And they couldn't hardly get. I thought that was so funny, her going to sleep on that stuff. And I was still awake, but I guess the smelling that stuff.
Put her to sleep.
Put her to sleep. Yeah, I know. And that was awful funny.
Oh, gosh.
I guess Truman learned not to knock on doors anymore. I think that's the last time he went out to do anything, knock on doors. Very well. I thought he had a hard time that night until we got our license to get married. And we walked in the snow. We walked to the preacher's house when we got married, too.
Didn't you get married?
I got married on the street or over here in the
I know where it is.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
Yeah.
Who told you?
Well, it's where is it?
Someone told you.
There it is. I think it's a funeral home now, though.
That's right.
Evan's
They
funeral
moved it
home.
we
Yeah,
got
it's
married in
funeral
a house up there.
And then they turned
And
it
I
into a
think
funeral
we
home.
woke the preacher up to get married. Sure did. He was a pastor in a home until we didn't get married in the church. After I got married, though, I wished I'd went to a church and
Had a
got
big
married in
fancy
church.
wedding.
Yeah. We could have had our marriage done over again later.
Look like your vows and
Yeah,
things like
take
that.
your vows and everything, but we never did. We just got too old now to say about it. We're settled down.
66 years is a
Yeah, 66 years. Is a
you
long
have 5
time.
boys.
And every night, on the 24th of December, we always
Right before
gathered,
Christmas?
all the children gathers.
After they'd all moved out and everything.
Yeah, they
take 'em
come
back
back
for
the
Christmas?
24th. We always had a meeting, with them every 24th, Christmas Eve. And so that's been, instead of going out and celebrating our anniversary, we have the kids all come in.
When's your anniversary?
The 24th of...
So your anniversary is on Christmas Eve?
Yeah, Christmas Eve.
So you got married on Christmas Eve?
Yeah, we did. And it was snowing.
Oh, that was so
And
pretty.
then when our first baby was born, it was snowing on the ground too. It was snowing that day he was born.
Which one?
Gary, 9th of January.
Really?
Yeah, he was born the 9th of January, so he was
Little winter baby.
snowing. Yeah, little winter baby.
Did you get a
And,
doctor then too?
yeah, I had him in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
I had him all in the hospital, but
Robert. Grandpa
Robert, yeah, I had him at home. I said I'll never do that again. Of all the trouble we had trying to get a
Grandpa
doctor.
getting arrested.
I thought that was funny. I don't guess he thought it was funny, did he?